Everywhere you turn in the beauty industry, there is one promise that never goes out of fashion, and that's visible results. Smoother, brighter, firmer, faster. We're told that if a product doesn't transform as quickly, it's not doing its job. So in April this year, I visited the In Cosmetics Global Trade Show in Amsterdam. It's the world's biggest cosmetic ingredients trade show. And I saw so many before and after photos of white women with fewer wrinkles next to all the new ingredients that were being featured there. And after a while, it gets to you because you start to believe that skincare isn't about care at all. It's about change. In fact, you start to believe that if your skin doesn't look dramatically different in a week, you've wasted your money. So last week on the podcast, I interviewed Stephen Smith of Newturn, a biodynamically grown botanical ingredient complex designed to deliver skincare results using whole plant infusions. And Stephen said something in that interview, and go and listen to it if you haven't yet, but he said something that stopped me in my tracks. He referred to what the beauty industry does as efficacy at all costs. And that pressure to prove performance above all else. And the more I thought about it afterwards, the more I realized just how much that idea has shaped the beauty industry and also shaped how we see ourselves. So that's what I want to talk about today. Hi, it's Lorraine Dallmeier, Chartered Environmentalist, Biologist and CEO of the award-winning online organic cosmetic formulation school, Formula Botanica. I host the Green Beauty Conversations podcast, which has had well over 1 million global downloads, and these are my Green Beauty opinions, where I share my takeaways from last week's episode and challenge you to think differently about the beauty industry. If you love hearing my thoughts on green beauty, make sure you subscribe to this podcast so you never miss an episode. So let's talk about efficacy. We've come to equate it with urgency, but that definition is narrow, and I don't think it's right. Because it leads us down a path of constant self-correction and constant dissatisfaction and constant tweaking. So I guess the question I have is, when did skincare stop being about care and start being about optimization? Because when we believe that results have to be dramatic to be meaningful, we set the bar in a place that excludes a huge amount of thoughtful, gentle, slow skincare. Products that work slowly, that restore balance, that support the skin rather than shock it, perhaps. So I remember when Formula Botanica was in its infancy, we actually used to have a consulting arm to the school, and our chemist and I would consult for clients around the world. And at that time, we had one client who came to us who wanted us to design an eye cream for her. She had very specific requirements. So our chemist got to work and she spent weeks on the formulation and created something really beautiful in the lab. I got to try it too. And then she shipped the first prototype off to the client. And the feedback we got really surprised me though, because the client didn't really comment on the skin feel or texture or color or scent. Instead, she complained to us that we hadn't managed to erase her wrinkles in 1 week's worth of use. So needless to say, that project didn't really go much further afterwards. And that mindset isn't just found in skincare either. It's everywhere in that wellness culture that we see everywhere now. And if it doesn't burn or sting or tingle necessarily, a lot of people think it's not doing anything. And I think that's a problem, because a product that calms, protects, or hydrates quietly over time can be just as effective, perhaps even more so, than one that offers fast results with long-term consequences. For instance, here at Formula Botanica, we've just rewritten our advanced diploma in organic cosmetic science, and there's a huge module in there on high-performance ingredients. But we do constantly have to remind people that the ingredients that can work best of all are the occlusives, the humectants, the emollients, not necessarily the big sexy actives that everyone talks about. Now, I'm not here to pretend that performance doesn't matter, because it does. Of course it does. But if the entire beauty industry is built around the promise that your skin will only be good if it looks different, then maybe we're losing sight of something important. Stephen from Newturn and I spoke about the power of raw, minimally processed ingredients, about how regeneration applies not just to farming, but to skin, to business, to the way that we move through the world. And it did make me ask myself, what are we asking our products to do for us? What are we measuring? What do we count as success on our skin? So what if we expanded the definition of efficacy? What if it also meant supporting the skin barrier over time, or formulating with ingredients that align with your values, or choosing traceable, sustainable sourcing as a form of performance, or prioritizing long-term skin health over instant surface-level results. We have spent so long chasing youth, chasing smoothness, chasing flawlessness, that we've forgotten that beauty is also about presence, about reality, about humanity, about accepting skin that reflects who we are and how we live. And there's a cost to all this, not just in how we formulate, but also in how we feel. Because if you're constantly trying to correct your face or to fix yourself, this is exhausting. It makes beauty a burden instead of a joy. So my challenge to you for this week is, if you're a brand or a formulator, how do you define efficacy? Are you formulating to fix something? Are you chasing visible transformation? Or are you formulating to support, to nourish, to care, to put the care back into skincare? And if you're a beauty consumer, what kind of results are you truly looking for? Do you want your skin to change, or do you want it to thrive? Because when we stop demanding that skincare proves itself through urgency, we might finally let it prove itself through integrity. Thank you for listening to my Green Beauty Opinions. Remember to visit the Formula Botanica website at formulabotanica.com to try our free online formulation course. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the Green Beauty Conversations podcast, please do so now in your favorite podcast app. Leave me a 5-star review if you enjoy these discussions, and I'll be back soon with my next episode.